Time doesn't exist. Time, distance, separation are illusions. And every change that you make within yourself is instantaneous. So here is how to collapse time and space and manifest what you want now. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliet Cleary. I'm a manifestation coach. And if you resonate with this message, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap that bell icon. If you would like to work together, that information's in the description box below for you, as well as the link to my meditation channel. Time is not linear, or reality is not linear. Our experiences are not linear, and time is an illusion. Time, distance, and separation are illusions. You're not actually separate from anything that you want, because in order for you to want it, it must already be within you. You only hold a belief that you're separate from it. Now, this is huge. This is life-changing information. So make sure you watch to the end so you get it all. Okay, so we know that everything exists here and now all at once. Past, present, future are all existing simultaneously. There really is no past and there really is no future. And so there is no time. The illusion of time is kind of created because we're actually shifting really quickly between all different parallel realities every single second. And because it's happening so quickly, and this is what we intended when we came here to experience it in this way, we don't realize that it's happening. So it looks like we're moving through time, but time is really moving through us, if anything. We're just shifting to parallel realities that are a little bit different. So this means that all different versions of you exist. There are unlimited realities, parallel realities, and potentials, possibilities for your life. Everything that you want exists here and now. Everything, creation's finished, everything is already here. And when you imagine living something, you're actually literally experiencing it in the moment. If you were to close your eyes right now and imagine yourself living the life that you want to live, you're literally tapping into that timeline, that reality. It's like a future memory. You're literally experiencing that. It's not just like you're daydreaming or imagining it. You're actually experiencing it because reality is you and you're experiencing it. Like your whole reality is actually happening within your consciousness. So your imagination is reality, and it's a tool that you can use to tap into different timelines, to different futures, different versions of you, even to connect with your higher self or to tap into the past. And so when you're imagining something that's in your future, you're actually there. And that's the same with the past. You're remembering a memory, you're actually there. And science actually tells us that because the brain and body believe that wherever you're imagining you are, you are. It tells us that there is no time or separation, and then you're actually accessing these timelines. So you can tap into any future timeline, any parallel reality, and bring that potential into here and now. And the truth is that these changes and these manifestations, these timeline shifts actually happen super fast, actually instantaneously. But I'm going to explain to you why we don't see the results instantaneously and how you can kind of speed it up. So what you want is already done. It's already yours. You already have it. It already exists within you. Otherwise, you couldn't ask the question, can I have this? Could this work out? Could that be my experience? You couldn't ask the question if it wasn't a potential or a reality that actually exists. You couldn't say, I want this thing, if it didn't already exist and it exists within you. So what you want is done. You are it, you have it, it's already here. So it's not about time. Your manifestation is not about time at all, but it is about your beliefs, especially when you let go of the beliefs that you hold around time and around when something could change or could manifest. You'll start to see time changing. You can kind of play with time. You'll start to see manifestation showing up quicker. You'll be able to not only manifest things, but to actually get things done, get results that would usually take people maybe 6 months to get, and you get it in 2 months. Or a manifestation that would usually maybe take 2 months for someone and you get it in 2 days. Or a task that might usually take you an hour and you did it in 20 minutes. You get to play with time. When you shift timelines, people are always like, I feel like maybe I've shifted into a vastly different timeline, but I'm not really sure. Things kind of look the same. Don't be fooled. When you even shift to a drastically different timeline, like a way different timeline than what you have been on, do not be fooled by the five senses, because we have a belief that big changes can't happen quickly, or that we're kind of maybe a little bit scared of big change happening so rapidly. We won't allow ourselves to see the instantaneous shift that has happened. But I want you to know, and I remember I made a video about this, if you change something in the moment, you're happier, you've made a different choice, you've taken a way different action, you have made a drastically different assumption about yourself or your life, you have said in this moment, I choose a different reality, or I choose this timeline. You must understand that in the second you choose that or you assume something, the change is actually instantaneous. Now, the manifestation of the physical may not reflect that back to you, but you have to know that the actual decision, the actual assumption, you doing that, you changing in any way, causes an actual instantaneous change in your reality. The change is instantaneous. So because a lot of us hold the belief that big changes don't happen really quickly, that they kind of have to take some time, that's sometimes the only reason why, even when you've had a massive shift to a vastly different timeline, you don't see the changes right away. You don't see them just for a little while. Everything pretty much looks the same. So don't be fooled if you know that you're making different choices and you know that you're changing and you know you're making different assumptions, because the change is instantaneous. Every little change you make changes everything, and it is instantaneous. You make different choices, you are in that moment in a totally new reality. A different version of you, a different version of your life, a whole different universe. Not just saying that like as a metaphor or a saying, but a different parallel version of Earth. There are all different parallel versions of Earth occurring simultaneously at one time. We're not experiencing the same Earth that someone else is. It is just really about you acknowledging that this is taking place, as opposed to you saying, well, everything kind of looks the same, so I guess it is the same. If you start to acknowledge the truth that every change is a total change, that every change is instantaneous, and you're acknowledging that you're now in a new reality, in a whole new universe, doesn't matter what has changed or not, based on your beliefs and what you're allowing to show up right now, everything has changed. You're in a different reality. If you can trust that, if you can acknowledge that that is actually truth, you will start to see the manifestations filling in faster and faster. You will start to know that it can be anything for you, that you can have anything, you can have it all. So for example, sometimes we get really scared about big changes, especially if it's happening rapidly, even if it's a good change, right? We've heard a lot of stories of people who've had like really fast, like overnight fame. Maybe they were, working on things for a while within themselves, but then they had a really big success and it came so quickly and it was kind of scary. Sometimes we, like unconsciously, we're kind of scared of that and we don't want the big rapid change. And so unconsciously, we're creating it to be a little bit slower. So it's really also comes down to what you're comfortable with. But for some things, it may not be that. It may just be that you have a belief big changes can't come quickly. So if you have some beliefs like that, identify them and decide what you now choose to be true for you. Decide to let that go. Decide it's just one choice. It's just a thought. You could buy into it or you could not. So what do you want to buy into? So it doesn't mean that big changes and big, beautiful manifestations, different, like vastly different timelines, it doesn't mean that they actually have to be slow in showing up. It's only because that's what you believe is true. So change that belief. Because again, like I've said in previous videos, it's not about what happens or what it looks like on the outside. That's not reality. You're the reality. It is how you define what's happening, what you're seeing, what definition or assumption you place on it. That's what's true for you. That's what reality you're in. So it's knowing that, yes, this is an instantaneous change. I have shifted. And now how do I define my reality? No matter how it seems or looks, because that's the illusion. I'm the reality here. I'm the I am. I'm source, I'm God, I'm the creator. It's about how differently I define this new reality. It's what I assume to be true about it now. And doing this will actually help you to gradually see that the changes, the shifts are in fact instantaneous, that it was an actual instantaneous change. How differently you now define this reality, acknowledging it's new. You have to acknowledge that this is new. You've made an assumption, or you've made a different choice, or you've made changes within, or you've done a meditation, a quantum jumping meditation, you've come out of it, or you've gone to sleep at night and said, I'm going to wake up in a new reality. Okay, and you wake up, you understand it's an instantaneous shift, you're there. Or you've simply in the moment said, I choose this timeline. Or you show up differently. Acknowledging that's instantaneous. And how do you now define this new reality? How differently are you defining this reality? What assumptions are you now making? You can also play with this in your mind of practicing, like closing your eyes and imagining that you're standing wherever you're standing or sitting or whatever, and you're saying, I want this thing, and it just appearing instantaneously in front of you. Just getting familiar with that idea will actually encourage you to remember you're dreaming right now. You're in a dream, your spirit is dreaming this up, and that you can start to collapse that time illusion, that separation that's not actually there. Start to see the reality of things just showing up and showing up. Okay, and so like I said before, choose the new belief that yes, big changes can happen quickly. Because now you understand you're multidimensional, now you understand there is no time, now you understand it's actually within you, you are the I am. What limitations do you have? None. Now, a quick note on a time delay. When there is a time delay, sometimes it's actually not a bad thing that you might assume it is. Sometimes we actually intend for a time delay for the same circumstances to show up, like an echo of what has come before, for us to now decide, again, what's true for me. It's giving you yourself, you're giving yourself the opportunity to, it's like testing yourself in a way, to see if you've actually changed, to see that you're actually that different person, and therefore the reflection must change. Now, the other thing with time is waiting. So many of us are waiting for our desires, which implies that you don't feel you have it. It implies that it's missing. You understand there is no time, and that time is not keeping you from what you want. Like, oh yeah, it needs to take an amount of time. It's only your beliefs. It is not time. Then no more waiting. When you are waiting for your manifestation, you can only experience more waiting. Start to imagine doing things in a shorter amount of time than you normally could do it in. Getting things done, like use your imagination, play in your imagination, use it for the tool that it actually was given to you for. For things that you feel like this takes up all my day or this takes up 2 hours, imagine doing it in 1 hour. Show yourself it's not about time, it's about you, it's about your assumptions, your beliefs, your perceptions. Even manifestations, it usually takes me this amount of time to make this amount of money. Start to imagine that moving forward. See yourself manifesting things that usually take a certain amount of time for you in a shorter amount of time. And how does that feel? And imagine that. Okay, so that is it for this video. Let me know what you think, because this information just blows my mind. Let me know if you try any of these and write your experience down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you would like to work together, that information's in the description box below for you. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.